everybody. Welcome back to Fireside Chats with the Farina. Farina, Sense and Sensibility. Today we're here to continue talking about heroes. So again, two heroines, which means we need two heroes. So the second hero of our book, the unlikely hero. Well, I said Eleanor and Edward were like Austen's power couple. Marianne and Colonel Brandon are probably the least likely. Now, in Persuasion, there's another very least likely coupling, but they're side characters, not the main characters. The main characters are like desperate for them to get together. And this one, less so. So Colonel Brandon, so when we meet Marianne, she is 16, and Colonel Brandon is, buckle up, everybody, 35. Mrs. Dashwood is 40, a 40-year-old widow, with a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 13-year-old. Let that wash over you. I know, gross. My version of it, we sincerely shrink that age gap by a lot. But he is a sad guy, confirmed bachelor type guy. He owns a lot of land. He's obviously a colonel. And back then, you sort of bought your commission. So you could work your way up to the ranks to become a colonel, but in the British Army back in the day, you actually paid for your commission. So really only rich people were officers, but they still served. I'm not saying they didn't serve admirably, and when we talk about the military, we'll get into that. But so Colonel Brandon is a good guy. His heart is good. And so, you're like, gross, he's 35, she's 16. Why doesn't he get together with her mom? Probably should. He and Eleanor actually get along really well. Like he and Marianne are really polar opposites. Now, they do a lot of good things for each other. She loosens him up. He makes her a little more serious. He loves her without condition. She has all these conditions. And that's her whole thing about, like, if you can only love one person, and you find out that he sort of had a failed relationship at one point in time, and there was all kinds of backstabbiness, and it's gross, and everything's bad for him. His brother's a cad, and he's got a niece who he's also raising as his ward because his brother knocked somebody up, and he's just a good guy, but he keeps that all secret. And he doesn't shame them. He doesn't say, yeah, off you go. Like another rich guy in another book would have sent them away, sent his niece away for being impure, but he's like, my brother sucks, I'm really sorry. And so that's really fascinating. And he's a good guy, and you do root for him. He's very serious, and he's very sad. He's seen some stuff. He's been to war. His heart has been broken. He just wants what's good, and he sees, as I talked about in the Marianne episodes, all of those things that I dislike about her. He sees the need for that. He sees somebody who's so full of life and of course she's so pretty, but she's also like full of romance. She's a genuine romantic, and so he really likes that because he's not, it seems, but he is, like, he does have this sense of romance. He does believe in love, and he wants to be loved, and he believes in art, and he likes to listen to her play music, and he wants to give her books to read and have conversations with her. And for him, like, long walks on the beach talking about books, which for them there's no beach, to be long walks through the countryside. That's like his jam. That's what he loves. He just wants this really kind of peaceful life, and he wants to do good. He wants to do good work. And so throughout the book, he does. He helps Edward out later. He helps everybody out that he can. He's willing to, eat crow to help anybody, whatever they need. And so towards the end, when Eleanor's really sick, he does whatever he can do. He literally moves heaven and earth to make sure she's okay. And he's just a great guy. So the age difference is gross, but he's also sort of emotionally stunted. So sure, he's 35 and she's 16, but she is sort of forced throughout the course of the book to grow up a little bit because of their financial situation. Granted, it takes a while. He also, while he's 35, he really hasn't really progressed, say, out of his early 20s emotionally, because he didn't have any role models to do that. He doesn't really know how to do things. He's sort of, he's got his brother to deal with, and so that made him grow up, and he does take financial responsibility for people, but he also wants to take emotional responsibility, and Eleanor gives him that. So again, the age thing is gross, don't love it. By the time the book ends, I think she's like 18, but that also means he's like 37. I know, what are you going to do? So anyway, but that's Colonel Brandon. He's a really good guy. Could not be more opposite from Marianne, and like a very unlikely pairing. And so I know some people love them getting together. Other people are like, ew. In that one movie that I was talking about, the Ang Lee directed, Emma Thompson written and starring version of Sense and Sensibility. Alan Rickman plays Colonel Brandon, and of course Kate Winslet is playing Marianne. So again, but accurate to the period, I suppose. So yeah, there you go. He's an interesting fella. I'd love to know what people think about Colonel Brandon. He is a true hero. Of them all, of all the heroes, he's a real hero. He really is a selfless guy. And he's hard to dislike, except, the whole marrying somebody who was just born when you turned 18 thing. That's a problem. It's not quite that bad, but it's pretty bad. Anyway, let me know what you think of Brandon and Marianne. And join us next time. We start talking about the bad guys. There's quite a few. And there's so many baddies in this one. I'm going to give each of them sort of their own space instead of just lumping them together. We're going to give Fanny Dashwood and Willoughby their own show each because I think they're so bad they deserve it. All right, I'll see everybody next time. Thanks.